All right. What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
You learn to love the Dijons.
Ah, the
You'll
Dions.
learn to love them. I see them out in like the real world now, and I'm like, you're a Dijon, and I love you. Like I seek them out now.
Tell me what a Dijon is.
So the Dijon is the typical Brandeis student who is not an athlete. So a lot of the athletes, this probably wasn't true for you, Ruth. Some of us athletes were not always as smart as the regular students, and they were just so unique and have such quirky personalities, but are so true to just being like, I don't care. I'm gonna wear a cloak all the way, like everywhere you see me, I'm gonna be wearing a cloak, and that I'm okay with it. That's cool. And it's accepted. And it's so awesome. And you're like, I want to be like this. And you find all the Dijons all around, and they're awesome.
They have Quidditch practice in the gym.
Yes. Dijons.
Really?
Yeah.
You said you'd say Quidditch.
Yeah.
So they run with broomsticks between their legs. No flying.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's
Yep.
one of our old teammates used to do it.
A couple girls from our team like tried to go to a practice, but they just couldn't even hold it together. They had to leave.
Sounds about right.
That's funny. What about you, Ruth? What was your unexpected thing that you loved about Brandeis?
Oh, I was one. I just loved everything. I really did. I loved the people. I loved the professors. I mean, for a freshman introductory course, I had Abe Maslow, who wrote a book. I mean, it's famous. You know, anyone takes psychology, and I just had a great time. Great social life. Great. I can't go into it because I was just happy with everything.
Wow.
I was a
That's
cheerleader
awesome.
for the football and
Really?
basketball teams. Yeah. I had been in high school too. That was something to only be as a senior, and I just did it. So I was on the charity drive, you know, on the committee and so forth.
Yeah.
It just was, and then I worked every morning. I worked in the cafeteria. I was the one that took the toast off and gave people toast.
Ah.
Yeah, I figured that wouldn't take away from my fun time because I would just be sleeping. It was before classes. I'd, you know, earn money. So I was on scholarship.
Yes. On-campus jobs are the best.
They are.
What did you learn to love most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
Two things. One, I now have a serious love for kosher hot dogs. Two, it was really like a value for perspectives that were different than my own. So like I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I've post-college moved all over the place, but I live now back in Pittsburgh. But it was really at Brandeis where I was exposed to like a bunch of diverse opinions and a bunch of different people, which I think has really helped form like who I am today. And just an appreciation and the ability to have a like civilized dialogue with somebody who might have a different opinion than yourself. I think that really is kind of like the biggest takeaway from Brandeis to me, and I think it's very, very valuable, especially in today's current global context. So,
what do you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
I can start with that one.
Go ahead, Dee.
Wait, guys. Okay, I know because they're gonna like chop this off, but guys, listen. Paris has all the questions and she already answered them. And she has them typed up. Ready to answer. Everyone knows that.
Zoe, she has it. She has like the ad lib. I can answer this one. So, well, why don't you start us off?
Let's pause for dramatic effect. Okay, Paris can answer that one. Yeah, now that all the beans are spilled. I was gonna say the culture. When I first stepped on campus, I didn't really know what it was like to actually be like a Brandesian or just like even part of BWB. And I felt like I could always be myself. Like I never had to try hard or like dress super well or speak different. I felt like I could, be in sweatpants and my friends would still love me. Like I could eat some stinky food and my friends would still love me. I could be like really goofy and nutty and weird and like they would still love me. So that was like the thing that I loved most about Brandeis that I didn't know before.
That's a great answer. I think Paris said it like perfectly, so I don't even want to attempt an answer.
Wait, like one off question. Should we change our background because we're like very casual behind pillows, or
makes it like homey? We're sisters,
We sisters. Okay.
It's definitely gonna be like a montage of a bunch of people. So really, like the funnier and stuff, and the more casual it is gonna get more attention.
Okay. Cool. All right.
That's what has so far got.
And it's like in that case.
I was like, in that case.
We gotta be very honest.
Yeah, like these were like the more serious questions. I think it gets funnier. But she also said I could go off script, so
Ooh, love it.
ready for that.
Next one is, what did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
So I don't know if there was something that I didn't know. I knew that Brandeis was a really diverse campus, just in terms of culture, in terms of people from all over the country and all over the world. So I didn't know what that experience would be like because it was just really different than where I grew up in my high school experience. So I knew that it existed, but I didn't know what it would be like. And it was just a tremendous experience for me. I learned and grew a lot from meeting different types of people. And it really expanded my horizons. And I'm just forever grateful for that experience.
What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
That's a good question. I think kind of just like the quirkiness of the community at Brandeis. I think that heading into Brandeis, I was really excited by like all the girls who were going to be on the team and knowing that I was going to have this community of like, 15 or whatever, like amazing teammates, girls I knew I would get along with based off of like my recruiting trip there. And I happened to know a girl that was in my class prior to getting to Brandeis. So I was excited for that. And I knew I would have fun and I knew I'd have like a solid group of people to be friends with. But I think that's something I was like perhaps a little skeptical about prior to was like, I like always imagined being at like a party school or like more of, that type of environment. And I knew that Brandeis wasn't that environment and it was a little different. And I was maybe a little skeptical of it, but I think it was probably like the best thing about being at Brandeis was meeting so many different types of people from so many different backgrounds who I would have not met at any other type of university and who I like probably wouldn't have been friends with if I never went to Brandeis. So I think it's just like opened up my eyes to so many different types of people.
Definitely.
What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
I would say the diversity of students. Like I said, I was this country bumpkin from New Hampshire. I mean, and I always had this dream. When I was in 7th grade, I read Johnny Tremain. I was going to school in Boston. So, okay, Brandeis is outside of Boston, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
And it was just such a great, I met so many people from all over the world. Brandeis had people from all over the world, not just all over the country, which, I did meet people from all over the country, but, foreign students. It just broadened my horizons.
Yeah.
And I felt like there's a whole world out there. And that's why when I graduated, I was going somewhere, to Europe or something. Not going back to New Hampshire, that's for sure.
I feel the same way about going back to Oklahoma. I'm like, I'm not going back.
I know, there's a whole world out there to discover. And that I really had, like, I'd say 75% of the people in my high school went to UNH.
Yeah.
Had I gone to UNH, I'm not so sure I would have broadened my horizons as much as Brandeis did.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, we were this is 1968. Turbulent times. The Blacks took over Fort Hall, to Demand Day, African American Studies program. There was the Vietnam War. There were so many things happening that made you realize you were part of a huge world and movement out there. And that was a great feeling. I remember walking down the steps at East. I mean, I forget where all the humanities classes were, walking down the steps and thinking, I am so happy to be here and living in 1968. There was just so many exciting things happening. You know, I know it sounds corny, but I remember thinking that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Anyways.
What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came?
I think probably just like I really liked the athletic department and kind of how small it is there. You know, it was like one of the perks of being there is kind of like I got to know like the ADs and the other coaches and, you know, all the other athletes. So that piece was kind of my favorite part of Brandeis, I think, just like the little family that you have at the athletic department as opposed to like the full-blown campus. But yeah, I would say that's definitely, I didn't know it would be like that, but it was one of my favorite parts.
What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
Oh, so I think what I loved most about Brandeis that I really wasn't expecting was just like how diverse and different it was, and like just how it was really a safe place for anyone to like anything, be involved in anything they wanted, and just like everyone could do anything. And that kind of, I think, gave me more confidence to try different things that I probably never would have done at like a bigger school or anything like that. So it definitely drew me out of my comfort.
Cool.
So
yeah, I agree.
What did you learn to love most about Brandeis before you came here? Or that you didn't know before you came here?
Yeah, I think, you know, I knew Brandeis was diverse, but I wasn't really sure on how diverse until you were on campus and you could see, you know, the wide array of people from all across the world that attend Brandeis. So I think that was super awesome to me, to be able to meet people from across the world and the country and learn about their perspectives.
What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
For me,
Gray t-shirts.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I can't believe you have that picture.
I made it.
Oh.
I made those for Ron.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. He wanted me to draw like this Arm & Hammer thing, and yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
All right.
But go ahead, Lara.
What did I think like what was great were the relationships that I made and how close you become with your teammates. And to this day, I still keep in touch with so many of them. Like just the bonds you create are amazing.
Definitely. What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before that you came here when you came here?
Well, I feel like I didn't know like anything about Brandeis before I came, but I think like getting like understanding Jewish holidays, you know, like there's obviously a lot of Jewish people, and they always sent out those emails that explained all the holidays. And then, you know, like I don't remember what year, but one year 2 of our managers had Shabbat dinner, and like we just like went and had Shabbat dinner with them, and like I don't think I would have experienced that anywhere else. Like I don't, there's just not sorry, I lost my train of thought. Like there's nowhere else that I could have found like that many Jewish people that are all celebrating together, and you know, so that was cool. Because I obviously am not Jewish, but so.
Definitely.
What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
Okay, I don't know what it's like now because it's COVID times, but Brandeis is very eclectic. There's a vast population of different personalities, whether it's you have your athletes, your like Dijon geeks, or just whatever it may be. I just like learn to love the diversity of people, whether it's like sitting in Uzan and just like hearing people talk, or being at a party and just like getting to know just different people's backgrounds. I think the diversity of Brandeis grew on me a lot. I came from a small town. Brandeis is essentially a very small college compared to like other universities. I thought it was ginormous, so I thought it was the best thing ever. But I think just like meeting different people and like different backgrounds, upbringings, methodologies, it's definitely like very eye-opening. And just sitting in class with people, I never did the reading, so I always had to listen to what people were saying because I had no idea. So I think just like learning through other people's perspectives was kind of probably one of my biggest takeaways.
What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
Believe it or not, I didn't have any Jewish friends. I grew up in a totally sort of sheltered Catholic environment, which was great. And it was very eye-opening to me to learn about Judaism and the culture. And my sophomore year, moved into a suite with a mix of basketball and non-basketball players. And I mean, one woman was just extremely devout and going to Seder's and Sabbath dinners, and all that was really new. And it was fun for me to discover that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I grew up like kind of the same. Like I've gone to a Catholic school my whole life, so it's very different seeing everything here.
It is. It's fun. Take it all in because it's really interesting. And the food is like, whoa. It was like the matzah and that whole thing. And I had a friend, a non-basketball friend from Long Island, and I'll never forget this. I went to her house for Seder, and her father is a character, and he and his friend acted out the whole Seder of Moses and parting the sea and the whole, it was fun.
That's cool.
I had a really great time. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you learn to love most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you got here or came here?
I would say coming from a small town in Maine, it's very rural where I grew up, Brandeis was kind of a stressful experience for me because overall, outside of my basketball team, it took me a long time to find my place and to feel comfortable. I don't think I ever really understood the value of being a Brandeis student until I graduated, and now I can appreciate it. Not that I didn't have a good time. I think I was just too young, too intimidated, too, I don't know what the word would be. It was a big experience for me. I was too naive to really understand how important my experience at Brandeis was. But now that I am an adult, it changed my life completely because I went from being sort of this small town person, very naive with not a whole lot of life experience.
Yeah.
Almost like traveling to a different country because the campus of Brandeis is nothing like rural Maine.
Yeah.
In terms of diversity, I'm from a low poverty area. I mean, a low income area. There's a lot of poverty here. And so at Brandeis, that was completely different experience. So I think it was like traveling for me. It was like I went to a different place with a more diverse community and saw a bigger world. And I think that completely changed me from a small town naive person. And I don't think I knew that until now. I'm an adult and I've been in my profession for a while.
I see.
Yeah.
It's good.
What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
Obviously, I knew about the proximity to Boston, but just the ease of taking the campus shuttle into Boston or Harvard Square, or even just the Brand Van to Moody Street.
Yeah.
It was cool to watch the fireworks after the Red Sox won the World Series in 2004 from the edge of the castle, which no longer exists.
Yeah, I haven't gone into the castle yet. It's still like there, but
As I said, I lived there sophomore year in a suite. It was awesome.
Really? That is awesome.
What did you learn to love the most about Brandeis that you didn't know before you came here?
Oh, that's easy for me. I mean, I'm coming from like the Midwest, so like everyone's like, everything's the same, everyone's the same, and I just loved how like nerdy and like different, and I just loved everything about it. I'm like, and so you just appreciate. I don't know. I like love. We're like so about it. Like, oh, that's so Brandeis, and like that's kind of what we love about it. So I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Where in the Midwest?
I'm in Michigan.
Okay.
I love how like everyone knows everyone, and like you see all the sports teams.
Nick's from the hood. She's lying. She's from the hood. She's from Detroit. She's lying. She's lying.
I went wide on it.
What about you?
Nick, tell the truth. You're from the hood. I just like how everybody was just there. Like no one was fake. Like everyone's either, even if you were an athlete, like you were still kind of like a nerd, and like you just could be yourself. Like you didn't have to try to fit in. Everybody just accepts you for who you are.
Okay. Okay.
Do you guys? And that's a good political answer too. That's very like Olivia Pope too, Angie.
Do you guys know? This is just a random question. Do you guys know what Dijons are?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know.
Love Dijons.
I wish I was a Dijon.
I know Dijons are probably they're so successful.
Yeah, I wish I was a Dijon.
Dijons are very successful. They always know.
I know they're so.
Wait, you know Paris? I don't know if there's like I don't know if there's a time for questions later at the end of this segment, but do you know Paris?
That's whatever. I do.
Zoe?
Yeah, I know of them. I wasn't here when they were here, but I know they're from Long Island, which is where I'm from, obviously.
I just assume like and like
yeah, Long Island's a very small. Not many people like go to Brandeis from Long Island, so everyone from Long Island I usually know. So
you're like, oh, and you're too. Yeah, they're too old.
Oh,
so you
okay.
don't against them or anything necessarily, right?
This is not me asking a rude question, but how old are you guys?
Oh, I'm 20. Angie, how old are you? I'm 28.
Okay.
Angie's 29.
I'm 29.
Oh, okay. Okay.
9.
How old do we look, act, feel? What was your vibe?
Okay. I would say like 26, 27.
Yes.
Like I could see you guys still being in college. No
That's
problem.
still high.
I could also see you guys being like powerful, but business.
Nick, that was still Nick,
of course.
that was still
what?
Nick, that was kind of high for my liking. I don't know about that, Nick. I said that was kind of too high for my liking. I was thinking more 23, 24. Yeah, I was like, that's
maturity brought you up because face absolutely 19, but then your maturity, and we haven't even got into how many you're a property owner, so that brings your median.
That brings it back up. How old?
Oh yeah. I do own. Yeah, I do own some rental property.
Got to be anywhere from 8 to 22, right? Shit.
Yeah.
So I'd say you're 19.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. But like, if you guys first saw me, what would you think I was?
I would say 21, just because like I'm like removed from.
19.
I don't think you look old or anything. I just like.
Oh, that's a good thing. I always get that I look like I'm like 12 or like 13. So
you remind me of Paris, because Paris.
I mean, I can see it. Oh my gosh, yes.
Paris, like I feel like she's really young too. So I did get that vibe, but I don't really. I'm like, oh,
okay.
No, she's got to be in this within these 4 years. So
you are correct.